What are we going to be working on with this one? We are going to be putting this baby together. So we've got red, white, and blue Woohoo, Make America Quilt Again. We've got this gorgeous quilt top, and we are going to add the backing. And I'm going to do this with binderless binding, and we'll show you what that all looks like. It's going to be awesome. Stay tuned, like and subscribe. Sherlock needs cookies. Like and subscribe. Hello? So, oh, there's Sherlock. Sherlock, please don't jump up here. So, this is the quilt sandwich flip trick that we're going to be doing. So we've got the quilt top, which is on the bottom. Well, actually, it's not on the bottom. So we got the thank you, Sherlock. We've got the batting on the bottom. We've got the quilt top next, and it's facing up. And then we've got the quilt backing, which in this case looks like one big giant log cabin block, which is exactly what it is. I've got everything pinned up and lined up, and what I've been doing is going through and pinning to make sure that we can flip this around. So after we get this pinned up, we are going to then sew. So what are we going to sew? We are going to sew all the way around, except for we're going to leave an opening so that we can turn it inside out. So that's the flip trick. And what this helps us do is not have any binding. I do not like binding. And then I wanted to show you the batting that we got. On all the batting that you'll see, you'll talk about quilters up to 4 inches apart. You want to quilt up to 4 inches apart on this particular batting. That's what you want to look for in your batting to make sure that you at least have a quilt or something tied down every 4 inches with this particular batting. Every batting's got that little measurement that you got to know what that is. If you do it bigger than that, what ends up happening is the batting will fall apart and it'll crunch up, or it'll clump together, and you'll have clumps in your blanket. Ugh, not fun. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do. We're pinning right now, and then we're going to do this. We're going to do the sewing around. Hello, Natalie Starfish with Sherlock Starfish. Yes! I figure if I get him in the show, then maybe he won't be barking so much. Maybe not. We'll see. All right, so the next part we're going to be doing is we're going to be sewing all the way around. We've got our little quilt sandwich going on. And we're not sewing all the way around. We're going to sew all the way around, except for we're going to leave a gap about like this, which should be enough to be able to turn the whole thing inside out. And we're doing this so that we don't have to do the binding, because I hate binding. I hate binding. Why do I hate binding? Because I don't do it very well. I could learn how to do binding, I suppose. There's lots of videos out there about it. But if you were interested in binding, you wouldn't be watching this one. Let's turn it inside out. Yes! All right, so we have it all pinned up. It's all put together. Let's take a look here. We got our layers. I'm going to start at the corner and go around and then finish near the corner. So we got lots of layers going on under here. So they also have this walking foot that you can use. It works really great, and it'd be awesome if I could remember where I put mine. I don't know where I put it. That's all right. So we get a little bit of puckers. This is a handmade quilt. It's okay. It's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. It was perfect to be made by a machine, right? And then where's the leavenette? Sherlock wants that. Where's the leavenette? So we will start getting nice and flat. Yes. By the way, before I laid this up on the bed, I ironed it and ironed it and ironed it. Ironed the top, ironed the bottom. I did not iron the batting though. I don't know if you can iron batting before you do that. It's a good question. I don't know. Can you? Maybe. All right, let's get this going here. I agree, Sherlock. I agree. Exactly, buddy. All right, so we finished sewing, and now we got to take out all the pins, and then we got to trim it up, and then we'll turn it inside out. So, pins off. And I use safety pins instead of straight pins when I'm doing the sandwich method because I'm doing a lot of transporting. So I'm moving it from either the floor or the bed to the sewing machine. And that process, I really want everything to stay together. So I safety pin. That way I don't have straight pins that fall and get in the carpet or something I have to find or the dog finds for me or the cat finds for me. So, and these I put all on the white, so it's going to be a little bit easier to find. I didn't put these near where I sewed because I wanted it to stay solidly where it was at. So, all right. Make America Quilt Again! Woohoo! And this beautiful red, white, and Woohoo quilt will be ready, will be done well before the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of the United States, our Independence Day, our 250th year anniversary. Woohoo! Happy birthday, America. And I know, I'm way in front of it, but I want this quilt to be ready. Ooh, come on, pin. All right, safety pins are out. Now we trim. So I'm gonna leave a little bit more than I would normally leave on this seam. Usually, I shouldn't say usually, if quilts are gonna have their part where they get damaged, it's usually on the end pieces, and if you have a little bit extra fabric to deal with, then you can work with it a little bit. So there you go. I'm gonna leave a little bit extra than I normally would with my 1/4 inch. I've got the blue is at the 1/4 inch, but the red I'm gonna leave that a little bit more. And so I'm gonna do that, excuse me, with the batting as well. So I'm just gonna slice those together and I'll show you what I'm doing. All right, so I'm gonna bring that over a little bit. So here we are, we're gonna be slicing. And I'm gonna go, how about halfway on that. Okay. So I'm slicing through the batting and the outside of the red. And if you notice, I'm always slicing away from myself. These are like razor blades. You want to be really, really careful with them. And then the second I'm done with my slice, you notice that I closed it. So, let's go there. There we go. This is on the inside, so I'm not doing that particular. Boop. I always like to pull the fabric away, make sure that I made my cut, and that my scissors actually did the whole thing. So, what do you think, Sherlock? Hmm? Yeah? Yeah? Is the birds coming by? Are the birds coming by? Hmm? There we go. And I'm just going to keep trimming all the way around. Okay, so on the corners, we've got a corner. Maybe you can see it better from the batting side. There we go. See the batting side. So we're going to slice off that corner. The reason we do that, that's up here so you can see. The reason we're going to do that is so when we turn it inside out, you don't have all that extra bunch that's right there. So it'll make a nicer, flatter corner. Excuse me, you don't want to go all the way in because you don't want to nick your quilt, right? If you nick it before you're done, then you got to sew up the hole. Doggone it. We don't want to sew up a hole. So there we go, another corner, 2. Let's see how many corners are in there. There should be 4. There we go, here's number 3. If I can get there. 3. And where's the 4th one? Should be right there. Corner. Take that corner right off. we go. Okay, now we'll turn it inside out. And where was it? There it is. Okay, here we go. So we're reaching in. And we'll go to the other side or so. And we'll start turning it inside out. Be careful with your opening. You don't want to rip it open bigger than what you made it. That would not be good. Like I'm trying to get it in the camera at the same time I'm doing this. It's like, We're getting there. We're getting there. It's almost there. Oh my goodness. Woo-hoo-hoo. Look at this. Look at this. Red, white, and woo-hoo. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is gorgeous. There's the front. This was one jelly roll. Let's get that corner out. One jelly roll. We framed it. We framed it. And here's the backing. The red. You got a white stripe and then a blue stripe around it. Oh my goodness. All right. This is ready to iron, so let's do that. All right, so I wanted to show you a trick about getting the points nice and pointy. So I've got my pointer, we're actually using the harder end, not the fluffy end of it. Huh, I thought I had the hole over here. I guess I didn't. Let's try that again. Where's it? Over here, okay. So we'll go through the spot that we used for our opening, and we will go to each corner and poke it out a little bit. Now, I've got the poker that just happens to be handy. You know what would work? A wooden spoon. A wooden spoon would be just really nice. So just to poke the corners out. Okay, let's bring it around. Poke. And then when I iron it, there we go, we got that poked out. Kind of a little tricky, the batting wants to stay where it is in the back there. Okay, poke that through. Just go nice and pointy. Our last corner. You would want to do this if you were doing a pillow, get your points nice and pointy. Boom, there we go. All right, now we iron. Oh, doesn't that look gorgeous? Doesn't that look gorgeous? Bring that up a bit more. So that's what our no binding looks like, or edge looks like. I know I've got lots of quilters out there. No, you gotta put the binding on. I don't know. I have to put it on later if I wanted to. But I like this way. I think it makes it easier. Now, you know, if this was really big, now it's all loose in between, right? So you got the sandwich made, but nothing is connected. And according to our batting instructions, we've got to have some sort of quilting every 4 inches. So we have an option at this point. Actually, we have several options at this point. But on this one, we could simply close up the whip stitch the opening closed, and we could go back and we could hand tie this off. So that would look nice if we hand tie it off. Kind of a nice thing to do when you're sitting in front of the TV watching Netflix or watching another YouTube video on quilting. So the hand tying is one option. You can temporarily hand tie it off and then quilt it later. This particular one is, what do we say? It's about, so the batting was 60 by 60. It was less than that. So we're probably about 50 by 50. 50 by 50 you could quilt in a smaller machine. Okay, you can do it, and it's not too bad. You get bigger than that, and it starts feeling like you're wrestling an alligator, and then that's when it's not fun anymore. And if it's not fun, then you got to figure out how to make it fun again. So how can you do that? You can make the quilt smaller. That's one option, so that you're not wrestling the bear. You can send it off to long arm. You get your long arm quilters who can do the quilting for you on their long arm. You could rent a long arm, although I think I would have a hard time. If I had a long arm, I think I would have a hard time renting my long arm, because I would want to be using it. So you could buy one, cha-ching, cha-ching, and they take up a lot of room. There's all different kinds of options that you can do. What are we going to do in this one? We are going to, I'm going to stitch in the ditch on this one. So there we go, it's ironed out. Let me put this on the bed so you can see it all together. All right, so here it is all together. All we have to do at this point, after the closure, is we're going to whip stitch our opening closed. So we got an opening right here. We're just going to whip stitch that. And it's ready for quilting. Here we go. Red, white, and blue. Woohoo! Make America Quilt Again. Ta-da-da. There's the back. There's the front. We don't want to shake it around too much because we got to get that quilted. And then stitching in the ditch, I'm going to literally go in the pieces between, and we're going to stitch, 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 stitch. And because so we'll talk about that next time what I'm going to be doing. So, I hope you had fun. I know I did. Yay! I love sewing. Show me what you're working on. What are you doing? Do you wanna do jelly rolls? Do you wanna do layer cakes, charm squares? Just work off the bolt. What are you working on? Let me know. Drop it in the comments so we can all see. And hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.